This is episode 19 and we're moving on now to adverbs. Now adverbs are a really mixed bag. They're quite difficult to define both semantically and also grammatically. Generally speaking, if you're not sure what a class word belongs to, it's very possible it's an adverb, but once again, we will attempt to describe them by using their semantic and morphological features and syntactic behaviour. So let's do that. Now, semantically speaking, adverbs express information like time, manner, place, or frequency. Morphologically speaking, and more specifically looking at the inflectional morphology of adverbs, some adverbs are gradable and, well, some are not. So we'll write here, can be gradable. When they are gradable, they usually take more and most, for example, more quickly. However, words like well, better, best, and soon, sooner, soonest follow a similar morphological pattern to adjectives. Actually, better and best are an interesting case because they act as both adjectives and adverbs. So I think we should just take a really quick look at those words in particular. So when better and best have the semantic properties of describing a noun, it's an adjective. For example, he is a good student. So we can also say he is a better student than before or than he used to be. Or he is the best student ever, or the best student in the class, or whatever it happens to be. So these all describe a student and they're all acting as an adjective. However, in the case that its semantic properties is describing the manner in which something is done, well then it's an adverb. For example, I am feeling well, or I am feeling better, or I am feeling the best, or more commonly used, I am not feeling the best. Now these days, of course, we often say I'm feeling good instead of I'm feeling well, but we'll look at that a little more in a later video series on language change. And this change in language usage doesn't actually impact on the fact that better and best both act as adverbs and adjectives. So it's a good example of how categorizing our words isn't always straightforward. But let's get back to our features, our morphological features, and this time we're looking to derivational morphology. And as far as derivational morphology goes, I think many of us know that an adverb will often end in ly. I mean, Tom Lehrer has even written a song about it. And if you're interested in hearing that, I'm sure you can just search Tom Lehrer ly song in YouTube. It's a bit of fun to listen to. Well, we English speakers love to put ly on lots of things to turn them into adverbs and modifiers, such as his show was pant-wettingly hilarious, or as my oldest son said the other day, he sang it so silly-ly. All right, so finally let's look at the syntactic behaviour of adverbs. And the syntactic behaviour of adverbs is that they modify adjectives, they modify other adverbs, and they even modify entire clauses. So let's write that down. Adverbs can also act as connectives, such as however, nevertheless, therefore. These are all adverbs too. I mean, I told you it was a mixed bag. So let's write that down too. So now let's have a look at some examples to see how these work in sentences. Here we are. They teased him mercilessly. So how did they tease him? Well, they teased him mercilessly. So mercilessly is our adverb and it's related to tease, how they teased him. So it's just modifying the verb. He is exceptionally good at soccer. So how good is he at soccer? exceptionally good. So here's our adverb exceptionally, and this time it's modifying the adjective good. So he was rather pleasantly surprised. How surprised was he? Well, rather pleasantly surprised. And this is an example of an adverb phrase, rather pleasantly. And both of these are adverbs. In this situation, pleasantly is modifying surprised, and rather is modifying pleasantly, but they're both pointing to surprised, like this. And that's how adverb phrases work. Now let's have a look at the last one here. Fortunately, we made it across safely. Okay, so there are two adverbs in this sentence, but these adverbs are quite separate and do not constitute one adverb phrase, but two separate phrases. And this would have been the case even if we had said, we made it across safely, fortunately. So why are they two separate adverbs and not an adverb phrase? Well, let's have a look. How did we make it across? We made it across safely. So this safely is our adverb here. How did we make it across? Fortunately. That's not right. Fortunately is related to the whole lot together. That is the fact that we made it safely across. So therefore, fortunately is an adverb that's related to the entire clause. We made it across safely, and safely is the adverb that's related to making it across. So therefore, I'm going to label these as two separate adverbs and not as one adverb phrase. Well, so that finishes up the four main big word classes: nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. And we've also looked at pronouns. So now we've only got 4 more word classes to go, and they're all minor word classes and mostly closed classes too. So our next word class we're going to look at is conjunctions. And until then, thanks for watching The Language Code.